Good evening and welcome to the Limerick Planning Board meeting for Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. It's stand for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is a public hearing. Matt, do you want to take the podium? Give us a little overview of what you're intending on doing. This is for Waters Rock Woods Campsite.
Okay, we're just basically like hosting a primitive campsite on Hip Camp, where you just basically rent out your land. That's basically it.
So there's two sites.
There's two sites,
Okay.
and it's just a campfire and a picnic table.
Okay.
We have the porta potties from Potties R Us. They just bring one out, service it every week.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? No? Any questions from the board? Did
No
you guys-
utilities. No.
There's no, it's just like most other campgrounds in the state of Maine. There's just porta potties, no water, no electric.
Okay.
Okay. Did you guys happen to see the
Yeah. Photos?
photos that I sent? So the site walk consisted of Matt and I. I tried to take some pictures so that everyone could see what it looked like there. It's basically two wooded campsites. They showed me where the turnaround would, there's gonna make a little bit of a bigger turnaround area to satisfy the code enforcement and the fire chief. And I think that's pretty much it. Okay. You guys all set? You wanna close the public hearing, or?
Is it like manned at all? Or do people just
No,
drive in on their own?
It's kind of like carry in, carry out. I usually check in with everybody. Like as soon as they get there, I just drive down there and say, hi, welcome to Limerick. And then, you know, if they have any questions, they can ask. But usually they can do everything on their own.
Is there a maximum occupancy that you,
There is, yeah, because we don't really want to rent it out for parties. We're kind of like just wanting it. It's kind of like Airbnb.
Yeah.
Has the problem when you rent your home to 12 people. They're having a party.
yeah,
And we're just trying to keep it to like families, which is mostly what we get.
Are
so
there,
what's the maximum occupancy that you allow? Is it four, like four people?
It's
or-
4, yeah. There's a maximum of 8 if they have, but they have to pay extra in case they had a large family.
Yeah,
are there posted rules about only using like local firewood? Anything
Yes,
like that?
on the Hip Camp itself, there are rules, and I do have that listed down there, yeah. And we do sell firewood bundles. They're available right there on site.
Good. Any other questions from the board, the public? Okay. All right, with that, I'll close the public hearing. Okay. Take a seat for a minute, Matt, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, Steve, did you have something for us? You're just here to observe. You can do it right now if you want, and we'll deal with that.
Yeah, Steve's McLean. So what's the status of my renewal up there at the annex?
I think currently we're just waiting on the fire department letter, and then we'll schedule the public hearing and sidewalk.
I thought Stan said it was just a renewal.
The only thing, and just need to get a updated fire department letter, letter from the fire chief. So
Okay.
as soon as you
So
have,
what-
as soon as you have that, then we'll move forward with the public hearing and site walk.
Oh, all right. So we went through this last time. The fire chief refused to sign anything because there's no building there. There's nothing for the fire chief to inspect, okay? So how many times are we gonna go through this? All right, 'cause we-
Then all he's gotta do is sign that there's nothing that, there's no
So every
no
two-
hazards that I need to be worried about, and that's all set. All you gotta do is get a letter from the fire
He
chief
didn't
that,
give us a letter last time either. He just told you there's nothing for him to inspect.
okay?
There's
And
no-
if that's,
there's no
and
building.
if that's what he
Okay.
puts in his letter,
Okay.
then that's all we need, is a letter from the fire
We
chief.
got 30 conditional use permits in this town. I'd like to see a copy of every one of those with the fire department every two years, updating.
We do that on everyone.
So all these conditional use permits
No,
never have to
no,
come
no,
back.
only the ones that are
That's
renewed,
right.
only the ones that are renewed, and that's a requirement of that, so.
Well, like I said, we didn't do it last time. I know Stan said 2 weeks ago he was gonna go have Jared sign something.
Yeah.
And I said, whatever. I said, but it's really not necessary. My attorney says it's ridiculous because there's no building for the fire chief to inspect. That was the whole purpose of the fire department.
Mm-hmm. Right,
okay?
but he has to determine that there's adequate access for the fire department to get there, and
It's on the state road with a state permit that it's always
I know,
been
but
there.
one of our conditions is that there is adequate access to the site, and that is for emergency vehicles. He can say, there is, there isn't, and that's their responsibility to say that,
I'd like to
so.
see a copy of all these conditional use permits we've got out there and see if they're ever updated with the fire department signature. And I bet you they're not. Because there was one that I checked on today that the permit was given and it said to be built. Okay, so I think it's ridiculous when there's no building on something. I understand when there's a building, fire chief wants to check and all this stuff, that's one thing. But last year, 2 years ago, he told you, look, there's no reason to go out there, it's ridiculous,
Okay,
so.
before I forget, we've got to sign these findings for novel energy. Let's just do those real quick and get that over with. I'm not sure who was here for that. but- Oh, she told me a special date that I was supposed to write on these too. October 15th, 2025.
I don't sign that, correct? All right.
If you weren't here for it, you don't sign it. So 10, what did I say it was, 10, 15?
That was the meeting where he read through every line. That was the meeting where he read through every line,
Yep.
satisfying this, yeah, I
Yep.
was there for that.
Okay.
Maybe I wasn't.
I don't remember who was here, I can't remember.
Dole's Bridge over there, solar.
You and I went to the site walk, so
Yeah.
you were here.
Yeah, I was here.
I think it was only two of us at the site walk,
I
so.
was like, I didn't go to that site walk, but I,
Did you go to that one too? Okay, so maybe it's three of us
I had most of them, I missed the one yesterday or Monday
today,
today.
yeah.
There was one Monday too, right?
That was just kind of a walkthrough for stormwater.
Maybe it was.
What's that?
Oh, this is the same one.
This is the same one, yep. Did you sign, is that, trying to decide if that was your, if signed by you or not? I don't think so.
Not yet.
Okay, we had some correspondence. We had an email from Stan with a copy of a letter from Bernie Carroll, the abutter at 50 Washington Street. We have an email from Stan delineating the boundary with Carroll Living Trust and photos. I think that's basically just showing the slope. An email from Stan from DEP, Derek DeCastro, concerning violations at CIA Secocas Trail with photos of CIA Route 5 and Secocas Trail North. And then a letter from Stan dated 1/2/26 for Francis and Catherine Carroll concerning completion of Emma's Way. Okay. All right, with that, if the board so chooses, you want to review the campsites? Okay, so, I'm Matt's neighbor. My son also worked for Matt this summer, and my company's subcontracted to Matt. So what I would like to do is step down and let you run the meeting and go through that. Unless the board thinks that I don't have a conflict of interest and wants me to stay in. But I prefer to step out, but that's okay. Okay.
I don't have my book though with the conditions.
All right, so the application is pretty good with the conditions in it. Should we find it here? Do you have this?
No, it's my other bag at home. All right.
So I'm gonna go sit in the audience and let you do it.
Great, thank you.
I'll be quiet.
All right. We are going to go through all the conditions in the application. We have a completed application. For everyone. Yeah. It's my first time doing this. That's terrible. So I'm very unprepared. This is very unprepared. Now I gotta find it. Subdivision. This is right in the front. All right. So the first one is, will a property meet the definition and specific requirements set forth in this ordinance for the specific use? Oh, do you guys have to stand at the podium? Would you like to join us at the podium? Thank you. You've answered that the proposed use meets the definition of campgrounds as defined in Article 2 of Limerick zoning ordinance, that any premise used for the purpose of temporary camping for which a fee is charged. The project involves 2 primitive tent sites that will be rented to temporary campers through established platforms such as Hip Camp and Airbnb. No permanent structures will be constructed, maintaining compliance with the temporary camping nature of the use. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. Does anyone move to accept that?
Motion to accept that.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Great. Article 1 passes.
So you're
Yep.
Your motion was to accept the conditions as presented by the applicant
Yes.
based upon the sidewalk and public hearing. And the
Yes.
conditions proposed by the applicant?
Yes.
The information proposed by the applicant?
Yes. Sure you don't want to do this? You don't have to vote. We can just read
Are
it.
you sure you don't want to do it?
All right.
This is Limerick. I don't want to be accused of doing anything improper.
Condition 2 is will not have a significant detrimental effect on the use and peaceful enjoyment of the adjacent and nearby property as a result of noise, vibrations, fumes, odor, dust, light, glare, or other cause. They have said that the primitive nature of the camping sites ensures minimal impact on neighboring properties. Activities will be limited to quiet camping activities, sleeping, eating, reading. No amplified music or large gatherings are permitted. Fire pits will be managed according to best practices to minimize smoke impacts. The low-intensity use pattern and natural screening will preserve the peaceful enjoyment of adjacent properties. Anyone have any comments on that? Me there. So I move to accept Article 2 as written and does not make any negative impacts on any neighboring properties in regards to noise and adjacent properties.
I will second that.
All in favor? Okay, that passes. Was I closer on that one? Okay, great. Number 3, will not have a significant adverse effect on adjacent or nearby property values. He says the proposed low-impact camping will not negatively affect adjacent property values. The sites maintain the rural natural character of the area without introducing commercial structures or intensive activities. The temporary nature of camping and the primitive activities ensure the use remains compatible with the surrounding residential and agricultural character, potentially enhancing the area's appeal as a rural recreational destination. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No.
I move to accept Article 3 based on what is written here and at the site walkthrough as written.
I'll second that.
Second that. Any discussion?
All set.
All in favor? Okay. Number 4 is no traffic or hazard conditions will not result in significant hazards to pedestrian or vehicular traffic or a significant traffic congestion. This says the proposed use will generate minimal traffic impact. Each site accommodates 1 to 2 vehicles, resulting in the maximum of 8 vehicle trips per day, 4 arrivals and 4 departures, when both sites are occupied. This represents negligible additional traffic on local roads. Access will be designed with adequate site distances and safe ingress and egress to prevent traffic hazards. Based on the walkthrough and the information provided here, would you guys agree that this should be accepted as written?
I agree. I think we talked about making some change, talked about making some changes to widening some of the areas for.
Yeah, there's like, probably like a dozen bush-sized trees that I'm
Yeah.
just gonna level right to the ground, and then keep that maintained.
Okay, I make a motion that, based on the changes he's suggesting and what's written here, that we accept.
I will second that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Number 5 will not result in significant fire danger. Fire safety will be managed through several measures: designated fire pits with proper clearance from vegetation, provision of fire safety equipment, a water source, shovel, fire extinguisher, clear fire safety rules for guests, and compliance with any burn restrictions issued by local or state authorities. Fire pits will be constructed according to best practices with adequate stone and metal barriers and maintain clear zones. For this one, I have a question for the fire equipment for the water source.
Yeah.
Was that present at,
The water source
there's
is the-
no
is the
utility,
river.
right?
It's the river, yeah.
is the river?
Yeah, they'd have to get buckets of water.
Do they have
We are
buckets available?
consistent with every campsite in the state.
Yeah, And-
Like,
just basing it off of what's written here as far as safety equipment is water source, shovel, and fire extinguisher. So I didn't know if those were being provided.
not the water source, sorry.
Okay. So based on the site walkthrough, did you feel that's sufficient?
Yeah, I would make a motion that that's sufficient. Certainly, the fire restrictions and burn restrictions would be the biggest factor, I think, in that context.
Same, I think of all the things in the campsite, it's like the fire will be the most
Exactly.
used and largest danger, so I just want to make sure we've got that one covered.
So I make a motion that we accept as written and based on the sidewalk and check.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, great. Number 6, will not result in significant flood hazards or flood damage, drainage problems, ground or surface water contamination, or soil erosion. The answer is the sites will be located on well-drained areas away from wetlands and floodplains. The primitive nature of the use, tents only, will not alter natural drainage patterns or create impervious surfaces. No permanent structures or foundations will be installed that would affect water flow. The minimal site disturbance preserves natural infiltration and prevents erosion. Based on the answer here and at the site walkthrough, I move to accept this as written.
I
Is there a
second.
second? Okay, all in favor? Number 7, will not create a safety hazard because of inadequate access to the site or to the buildings on the site for emergency vehicles. The access road is already designed to accommodate emergency vehicles with adequate width, minimum of 12 feet, and a turning radius. A designated emergency vehicle turnaround exists near the entrance. Clear addressing and signage will ensure emergency responders can locate the sites quickly. The access route will be maintained year-round for emergency vehicle passage. So I think I saw in the pictures, each site had a sign, right? Site 1, Site 2.
Yep.
And then at the walkthrough, you discussed widening the path where the bush is.
Yeah, there's just a spot like off to the right that could be cleared for the emergency turnaround.
Do you think we should accept this as is, based on what you saw?
Yep, I'd make a motion that we accept this as is, based on his answers and the changes that they're making based on the sidewalk.
Okay,
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Number 8, has proposed exterior lighting that will not create hazards to motorists traveling on adjacent public streets, is adequate to the safety of occupants or users of the site, and will not damage the value and diminish the usability of adjacent properties. They answered, no exterior lighting will be provided. Motion sensor solar-powered lighting may be used for safety at the portable toilet location. The primitive camping experiences emphasizes natural darkness. Okay, based on what we saw at the walkthrough and how this is written, I move to accept this motion.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor? Number 9, makes provisions for buffers and on-site landscaping which provide adequate protection to neighboring properties from detrimental features of the development. Number 9 says, natural vegetation will be preserved to provide screening from adjacent properties. Additional native plantings will be installed if needed to enhance buffering. The sites will be positioned to take advantage of existing tree cover and topography for natural screening. Maintained buffers will protect neighboring properties from any visual impacts of the camping activities. Based on the site visit and walkthrough, would you say there was,
think there's
even
a-
in the winter?
Yep.
As a neighbor, would you agree? There's adequate buffering and landscaping between properties?
I think so, yes, but I'm his actual neighbor, not the neighbor of this campground.
Ah, got it. Oh, yeah, huh? Okay, I move to accept the condition as written and based on the site walkthrough.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor? Great. Number 10, makes provisions for vehicle loading and unloading and parking for vehicular and pedestrian circulation on the site and onto adjacent public streets which neither create hazards to safety nor impose significant burdens on public facilities. They answered adequate parking and circulation. Each camping site will have enough space for 1 to 2 vehicles. The access drive will allow safe circulation without vehicles backing onto any public roads. Based on what we have here as an answer and based at the site walkthrough, I motion to accept this.
I'll second that.
Great. All in favor? Number 11, makes adequate provision for disposal of wastewater or solid waste and for the prevention of ground or surface water contamination. This says that a professional maintained portable toilet will be shared between the 2 sites, serviced weekly by a licensed sanitation company. Campers will be required to pack out all trash and recyclables following leave no trace principles. No wastewater will be generated on site, and the portable toilet will be positioned on stable ground with adequate access to service vehicles.
I would make a motion based on the answer to that question that the condition is met.
I'll second that.
One porta potty is fine
Absolutely.
normally? Okay. Most people probably just pee in the woods. Okay. I motion to accept this as written.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. Number 12, erosion control and makes adequate provision to control erosion and sedimentation. Site disturbance will be minimized to preserve existing vegetation and soil stability. Tent areas will use permeable surfaces to prevent soil compaction. Natural drainage patterns will be maintained. Any disturbed areas will be immediately stabilized with appropriate erosion control measures and revegetated with native species.
So you're gonna have gravel, or is that what's?
It's basically, right now, it's all pine needles.
Okay.
So,
Where the tent sites are?
yeah.
Okay.
You couldn't see it with the walkthrough, but it's all,
Yeah, no, I was just.
there's no vegetation that actually grows inside of the camp areas.
Okay.
It's just pine needles.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I move to accept this as written and based on the site walkthrough. And
I'll second that.
all in favor? Number 13, makes adequate provision to handle stormwater runoff and other drainage problems on the site. So this says that the primitive nature of the development requires minimal stormwater management. Natural infiltration will be preserved through minimal site disturbance and no permanent structures. Existing vegetation and natural topography will manage stormwater runoff. No impervious surfaces will be created that would alter natural drainage patterns. Based on what is written here and on the site walkthrough and conversations we just had, I vote to accept this as written.
Yep, second.
All in favor? Number 14 provides for a water supply which will meet the demands of the proposed use. It says campers will be advised to bring their own drinking water consistent with primitive camping practices. Based on what's written here and what's been presented and at the site walkthrough, I move to accept this as written.
Second.
All in favor? Number 15, makes adequate provision for the transportation, storage, and disposal of hazardous substances and materials as defined by state law. It says that no hazardous materials will be stored or used on site beyond standard camping supplies. Propane for portable stoves, which campers may bring themselves. Fire extinguishers will be properly maintained and disposed of according to manufacturer recommendations. Campers will be prohibited from bringing hazardous materials beyond normal camping gear. Based on what you saw at the walkthrough and what we have written here, I move to accept this as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? And number 16, will not have an adverse impact on significant scenic vistas or on significant wildlife habitat, which that could be avoided by reasonable modification of this plan. The answer here says that the primitive camping sites will preserve the natural character of the landscape with minimal visual impact. Natural vegetation and topography will be maintained to protect scenic views. The temporary low-impact nature of tent camping is compatible with wildlife habitat. Quiet hours and camping guidelines will minimize disturbance to local wildlife. Sites will be positioned to avoid sensitive habitat areas. Okay, based on what you saw at the walkthrough and what is written here, I move to accept this as written.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Okay.
I don't have a copy of that, lawyer's blurb, so you can approve it based upon the lawyer's blurb. To be added later, or I can find it for you, maybe you can find it for you.
I feel like it's somewhere, isn't it?
It might be in my book, but I'm not certain. It's not taped to the back of it.
It used to be, I feel like. Nope. Nope. Is this one it? Nope.
Sorry, I don't know if I have a copy of that.
Oh my God, I never had one.
I thought I had it, but.
So, just the,
This approval is based upon
Oh, yeah.
basically you provided the facts, what you've provided to us is, appropriate, and any changes other than something that deemed by the code enforcement officer to be a minor change, will need to come back to the planning board. That's the gist of it.
yes.
So it would be my recommendation that you approve it based upon that lawyer's blurb.
Okay, then I move to accept this application and issue this conditional use permit based on the fact that nothing will be changing. That would be a major change as deemed by the code enforcement officer.
Yep, I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Did a good job. Sorry, throw that at you. Alright. I'm just gonna look and just to see if I have it in here, but I don't know if I do.
I feel like you used to have it taped in there.
Nope. I used to have it in here, but.
I think Joanne has it in hers. She should put it in our folders.
Tape it in the folders?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, agenda items. We have signed the findings of fact, we did that. We have some minutes for December 3rd. Is there a motion on those?
I motion to accept the minutes from December 3rd.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. And I think other than that, we have received information from the developer across the street, and we'll need to set up I guess we can do it at our next meeting, we'll set up a site walk and public hearing. I mean, sorry, we already did the site walk, so we did both site walk and public hearing, is that correct?
Yeah, we just have to review
So we
the
can just, we can
updated-
actually start reviewing, we can contact him and begin to review that.
So can I ask, based on Bernie's letter that had been sent about the water, which we had talked about at the original site visit and public hearing, was that thoroughly addressed yesterday at the walkthrough?
I believe that they had a pretty good plan of how they were gonna deal with it. They talked, Bernie and the
Engineer?
engineer talked about how, he was gonna calculate it so that no more water than what's normally running off the lot right now would be running off at any one time. So they would have to put in some sort of retention area, and then it would run off, and it wouldn't run off for more than a couple days. It wouldn't be a continuous running off the property, so,
It appears they mapped that out on the most recent email to us.
okay.
I saw
So
retention.
I think,
Area.
it appeared as though Bernie was happy with that resolution. So,
Thank you.
okay. So, sorry, and, so our next meeting is, lost my agenda again.
21st?
21st. Okay. So Wednesday, the 21st. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You know, I'll second that.
Second? Yep, you got it, second, okay.
All right, motion and seconded. All in favor? Okay. Thank you and have a good night.